Baton Rouge. Now, the party starts now. These two guys bring a party with them wherever they go. It's always been a dangerous place for highly ranked visitors, but do you realize LSU has lost 5 of the last 6 home games, including last week's to Colorado State? The Tigers have the SEC's had the worst ground defense. The Volunteers had the best rush offense. Now, Johnny Majors will be on the sidelines for the first time this year after sitting in the press box last week. For more on this one, we check in with our primetime team, Ron Franklin and Mike Godfrey.
Game day here in Baton Rouge, and Mike the Tiger with a siesta. That won't be the case, though, guys. In about 8 hours from now, he'll be growling in front of a capacity house as the Tennessee Volunteers come calling to the LSU Tigers here in Baton Rouge. Hi, everybody. Ron Franklin along with Mike Godfrey. And, you know, Tennessee, they graduate 12 kids that either started or played on a regular basis on defense. Most people thought, well, they can't be that good on that side of the ball this year. That hasn't been the case. They're undefeated. They're 4-0. But they have had some other distractions as well. Their head coach is not there at the beginning of the season, but it hasn't slowed them down, Mike.
Well, they've missed Johnny Majors, and tonight it's business as usual with Johnny Majors returning to the sideline. But you have to credit the assistant coaches, Phil Fulmer on offense, the interim head coach, Larry Marmie on defense, because they picked up the slack and they haven't missed a beat.
I feel like I put together a good staff where there's no jealousy and there's togetherness, because I believe in loyalty and I believe in a program that's strong from top to bottom. And I've talked a lot to our staff and to our team about when your number's called, be ready to step up, whether it's a player or whether it's a coach.
Another thing to look for tonight is LSU is an extremely young football team. There could be a time this evening we could see quarterback, running backs, and wide receivers, all 5 as freshmen, Mike Godfrey.
Ron, when you're playing that many freshmen, it's important to get off on the right foot tonight, and they need this crowd in the ball game in a positive manner.
Should be a good one. Capacity House, 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll have it for you. LSU and Tennessee. Chris Fowler, back to you.
Look forward to it, Ron. We're coming.
Shooter on a quarterback draw, and Tennessee pounds it home. Handoff, dive, give him 6. Touchdown, Tennessee.
People just brushed Tennessee off as just a fluke, like they said we was against Georgia. We barely won. We're a team that's playing like a family. Coach Majors told us the wind blows hard at the top of the flagpole, so we'll keep that in thought and just try to play hard and stay hungry.
Tonight, the surprising 7th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers enter one of the country's toughest arenas, Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This was the scene just 1 week ago tonight as veteran coach Johnny Majors returned to coaching in Knoxville. After 5-way heart surgery, 33 days later, he resumes his position on the sidelines again.
I don't have any butterflies at all from the standpoint of being on the field for the first time this year with our football team. I'll have plenty of butterflies and some anxiety and some and enthusiasm and excitement that I've always had. I'm sure it never changes whether you're a player or whether you're a coach.
Tonight, he brings the 7th-ranked Volunteers into Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers. Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin. Welcome once again to CFA Primetime here on ESPN. You know, if you gave this one a headline tonight, it probably would read something like the wondrous Big Orange of Volunteer Land. They're 4-0. This was a year they're supposed to be rebuilding. It hasn't been that way at all. And as far as LSU is concerned, the young upstarts. We may see 5 freshmen at a time tonight. Quarterback, 2 running backs, and wide receivers. But Mike Godfrey up in Knoxville, even though it was supposed to be a rebuilding year, they lose their head coach to heart surgery. None of these distractions seem to have bothered them.
It hasn't, Ron. This team's built on adversity. And tonight, John Majors' return. He put it best the other night to us when he said he tells his team and his coaches, when your turn at bat comes, you got to hit the ball. And they have. They've really done a good job. So if anything, his return tonight will have a settling effect.
Well, for the LSU Tigers, they're 1-3, and obviously Curly Holman is a little bit, he didn't feel good about what has happened to them, but yet he says this football team doesn't feel as though they're only 1-3.
And I'll tell you one thing, folks, tonight there are freshmen all over the field tonight. I don't know how they're going to play, but I know one thing about freshmen. They've only been in class for a month. They don't know pressure. They don't understand the rivalry. Tonight they start a quarterback, freshman Jamie Howard. Can throw the ball downfield. Robert Davis, a quick hitting tailback that can take it all the distance. What they need to do is get a good start tonight and feed off this crowd. It'll be an emotional night. Let's go down on the field to Adrian Karsten.
Coach, something's happening here. As the sun goes down on the Delta, you can almost feel that first showdown at sundown that happened right here 61 years ago tonight. With all those memories and all that motivation, 80,000 Tiger fans have nicknamed these night games Saturday Night Live. But unlike the original, these players are ready for prime time.
We'll be back with the opening kickoff after this. Tiger Stadium, great evening tonight. 20% chance of rain, but the clouds have now gone higher, and it's very comfortable. These are the SEC standings looking at the Eastern Division. Tennessee on top, 2-0 in the conference, and 4-0 overall. Then comes Georgia, then Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida, the surpriser there, Mike, at 1-2, and South Carolina at 0-4. Over in the West, it's Alabama, then Auburn, Mississippi State, and LSU with 1 loss apiece.
Kicking off for Tennessee.
Johnny Majors, 16 years as the head coach up in Knoxville, 112 wins, 64.8%. And Curly Holman, gentleman who has paid his dues, came here from southern Mississippi, had been an assistant coach for one of the places, Texas A&M, done a fine job, and he is working his way back and getting this program here on its feet and going well. Joey Chapman to kick it off. Butler and Pegues in a dual safety, and he's going to bring it out. Pegues stopped as he crosses the 15-yard line. Ball comes loose. It will stay with LSU. Here are the Energizer starting lineups for the LSU Tigers. They call him the freshman sensation. Actually, they're the best of those offensive linemen. Davis takes the pitch, and he'll take it out to the 20-yard line as we meet the starters on defense for the Tennessee Volunteers tonight. They run a 4-3. Watch number 58. A lot of people think that Todd Kelly could be a first-round draft choice this upcoming year. The linebackers, very active and also very large. Reggie Ingram in the middle, 255 pounds. And in the secondary, J.J. McCluskey. We'll call his name on this side of the ball. He also plays some offense for the Volunteers. Davis again as they keep it on the ground. This time only 1, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 4.
Ron, it's important for LSU with all the freshmen. You see Jamie Howard, number 4, true freshman quarterback. It's important for them to get off to a good start, keep this crowd in a positive frame of mind, feed off of it, and then have some success early so that they can continue this fight against Tennessee 4 quarters.
Please report to campus police.
3rd down, and they need to make the 27-yard line. The first sack of the night by Tennessee, and it's George Kidd, one of the first men there, and also you can see Todd Kelly, number 58, as he congratulates his teammate. Punting time, Tigers.
To try and give themselves a little help in pass protection, they went to an unbalanced line and rolled to the 4-receiver side.
DeSells with an average of almost 39 yards of return. And Sean Summers, the exciting one for the Tennessee Volunteers. He's returned 177 for a touchdown this year. Here are the the starters for the Volunteers on offense. Keith Schuler, the second-year man out of Bryson City, North Carolina. He throws well. He also runs well. The wide receivers, well, Corey Fleming is the leader, but that's a very good group. They're young. And up front, the offensive linemen, the two guards are freshmen, but Mike Stoll is the best of the group at left tackle. Hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1, and that's it. Gilliard is on the bottom of the pile. And the starters for LSU on defense. Great family, 11 kids. We'll elaborate on that as the evening goes on. It's quite a story. Schuler with his first pass of the night on play action. Little stop and go, and his receiver dropped the ball. Corey Fleming is the man he was looking for. He ran a very safe pattern, safe pass. Fleming dropped it.
Ron, Tennessee starts out offensively with 3 wide receivers. They're playing without a tight end. What they're trying to do is reduce the defense. They're trying to get them to 6 in the box so that they can run the football.
Third down for the Volunteers. They need to go to the LSU 46. Schuler will be dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Lavelro Swan, the junior from Shreveport, who makes things happen defensively, gets him.
Ron, even though Schuler's a sophomore, he's still a young quarterback, and Tennessee is trying to cut down the offense. So you got 2 teams that are going to try to run the football at each other tonight.
Hutton back to punt. Now, he's a left footer, and we were watching in the warm-ups. Even his teammates were having trouble holding on to the football. Kick to Buckles. Fair catch is called for, and he makes it at the 7. So we'll take a break. 11:46 left in the opening quarter.
First down for the Tigers.
ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering, and by the Michelob family of beers, because some days are better than others. Tennessee All-American Johnny Majors, now the head coach in his 16th year.
Different hairdo these days, so I like this flat top.
Look comfortable. I guess we all wore them then. Straight ahead with the fullback this time. Odell Beckham, who's a senior out of Marshall, Texas, on the carry, and he will bring it out across the 10.
LSU's showing a different formation to Tennessee. You see only 2 offensive linemen to the right of the quarterback. Then you got 3 linemen here, 2 receivers. So they're in an unbalanced set and trying to get Tennessee out of whack a little bit to move on defense.
Beckham, who just had that last carry, was a tailback, but they have such a bevy of talent there, they moved him to fullback. Davis hit in the backfield, and it's Todd Kelly, the senior from Hampton, Virginia, and as I mentioned to you, we'll call his name, I think, a lot tonight. Boy, he's a good one.
That's the key matchup tonight, Ron. Kevin Mawai versus Todd Kelly, number 58.
Your attention, please.
You see him just on an inside move. It's to the tight end side, and anytime you see people to the tight end side, you're going to see some action, either some slants down inside or bringing people from the outside, because LSU is predominantly a tight end running a team.
This time, 3 wide receivers, only 1 setback. And now timeout called by Jamie Howard. And Adrian Karsten, let's get a report from you.
Just a defensive tidbit I've already picked up from Tennessee. Just before they had to call that timeout because of the crowd noise, whenever you see LSU get into a 1-back or a no-back set, Tennessee is going to be coming. I mean, they're really going to be blitzing, and I think Coach probably to take away that passing game and force them to run.
That seems to be, Adrian, something that as we go around to teams around the country, you see Larry Marmey. I'm going to show you Larry Marmey, the defensive coordinator. He was the head coach at Arizona State last year. People like to blitz. When you go to no-back sets, you can't protect, so they don't want to sit back there and let you just shred them and pick you apart like a chicken. So they're going to come after you with linebackers, outside pressure. And Adrian's right. I mean, as you go around, you see that often. People, when they say 1-back set, no-back set, I'm coming after you. You're not going to have time to throw it.
You look at Ingram, we talked about him in the lineups. Now consider this. 6'2", 255 pounds, and he's had knee surgery, and they still think he has plenty good enough mobility to play in the middle. Well, that's big for a linebacker. Pitch, Odell Beckham will be hit in the backfield, and again, it's Kelly who gets a piece of him, and so far, the Tigers have not been able to block number 58.
Well, you wonder why they run to a great player. He is so good to track things down from the backside, so they figure, hey, he's got such good quickness, let's go at him and see what he can do. Well, he's sending a message to him.
That was the tight end, Brandon Stelly, who was trying to block on him. DeSalles to punt, second time looking at Summers as a single back for Tennessee. He'll have room to return this one from the 45. 46 yards on the kick and 7 yards on the return. Carlton Buckles makes the stop. We'll be right back. And on Thursday evening, Columbia, Missouri is where Mike and I will be. Second possession coming up for Tennessee. LSU, a couple of possessions and very short ones. And the Volunteers with good field position across the midfield stripe. James Stewart, who's only a sophomore out of Morristown, gets the carry. It's a gain of close to 5. Nate Miller defensively.
James Stewart carry.
Auburn wins big over Vanderbilt. Ole Miss jumping out on top of Kentucky in their ball game, 10-0. Auburn's been kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team, haven't they, Mike? Option down the near side, and Schuler will be knocked down for a yard loss. Again, it's Nate Miller, and you can see 13 Ricardo Washington coming up to make the hit.
He's Schuler, number 21. When he was up to the line of scrimmage, he looks at this defense, and he's looking at number 7 right here, because that means that there's only 6 in the box when 7 is split out over here. So he'll make the run call and take the option at James Gilliard, number 7, but good pursuit by LSU from inside.
Third down Volunteers. They need the 36 of LSU. You can see the play clock run down.
Here's what you got, Ron. You've got 2 young quarterbacks, so you got 2 veteran defensive coordinators. You're going to play around with them a little bit. You were watching as LSU was moving around on defense, and Schuler moved his tight end back inside to give him protection, but it took too long, and they got the 25-second delay call.
To Campus Police.
Johnny Majors pacing the sidelines. Good to see him back there.
It's great to see him back.
Phil Fulmer did an absolutely marvelous job in his stead, which we'll talk about also as the evening goes on. Blitz at the middle, and they hit him right there. Fleming got to be stopped at the 25-yard line by Carlton Buckles. I don't know if it was an audible, Mike, but it sure was a good read.
Ron, you're exactly right. It's a hot read. Now watch the linebackers. We talked about this. No backs. Adrian Carson just talked about this. Going to blitz the no back set. You see the backers coming. There's the quick throw to number 12, Corey Fleming. But the mistake was made by the defensive back. He was too far off of Corey Fleming in man coverage.
Yeah, Ivory Hilliard was on his knees too far away.
Too far back.
He really got faked out of the play. Stewart, Lavello Swan defensively. The 3 tailbacks that we'll see for Tennessee tonight. Charlie Garner, Aaron Hayden, and James Stewart. And probably with a single word to describe them all. Stewart, strength. Hayden, tough. Charles Gardner gives them the breakaway threat, a combination of both of what Hayden and Stewart had.
It's interesting to me how they keep them all happy. I mean that because you only have one football, and tailbacks like to play, but these guys all seem to be happy.
J.J. McCluskey has come in the ballgame at offense. We told you he would play both ways. Drop play, and it's Stewart. Good open field tackle, Daryl McCorvey, and he was not about to be faked out.
Tennessee has had excellent field position in these two drives. The LSU defense had their back to the wall in both these two drives. Need to try to keep them out of this end zone.
I talked about McCorvey, one of 11 brothers and sisters. 8 have earned college degrees. The other 3 are currently enrolled in college. And he has a brother who plays in the secondary down at Florida State. It's quite a story. Schuler rolls the pocket, drills the pass. What a great one-handed catch by Craig Faulkner, and he will be stopped at the 6, let's call it the 14-yard line. Now they're going to mark it. Wow.
Well, the fans are booing the spot here, but I'll tell you, you're not going to see many better catches than Craig Faulkner makes. Schuler's going to roll to the right because they felt like no backs didn't get a blitz, so they roll him to keep him away from it. Watch this catch, though. It's really a good control of the ball.
I thought they outlawed Stickum. Boy, he really grabbed that thing with only one hand. Gardner comes in at tailback, number 30. And immediately gets the call. It's Bo Davis, the nose guard, holding on. Well, what kind of success has the Big Orange had? What they call the orange zone. 18 possessions, 14 touchdowns, Mike, at 4 field goals. That's an awfully high percentage.
Well, they're inside it again because they say it's a 20 in for them where they have the most success. Bill Fulmer, the offensive coordinator, was the interim head coach, calls the plays for Tennessee.
Phil, until this year, until he was named as the interim head coach, was always upstairs, but now they got him down on the field. Play action over the middle, has his man there. Fleming can't hold on. Maybe just a little high, but he had his hands on it. You could see Hilliard had the cover.
Schuler has a strong arm. I mean, when you look at him, you look at a quarterback with a 21 number. He had that in high school, and they promised him that number if he'd go to Tennessee. See the throw, and you're going to watch his reaction. He thinks he's got the score, knows he's a little bit too high. Coaches just say he's one great competitor.
This is the 9th play of the drive. It is 3rd down, and Tennessee needs to move the ball to the LSU 5. Pressure from the outside. Gonna have to hurry. He will not get it away. That's McCorvey. Darrell is there to get it.
A veteran quarterback, and Schuler will eventually see this. When you have man coverage and LSU just tips off the man coverage, you're going to see the blitz from the left side of your screen. He just doesn't have time to react. Darrell McCorvey, number 25, makes the tackle. Watch the pressure from the backside. He just never had a shot. He had to do the same thing he did the last time on the 3-step drop and throw the football. Just took a little too much time.
John Bexford with an attempt of 37 yards. We saw him in his first college outing. We had that game against Auburn last year up in Knoxville. Plenty of leg on this one, and he splits him. So with 4:32 left to play in this opening quarter, it is the Volunteers who go on the board. John Bexford, good from 37. Nothing. Tennessee goes on top. 4:32 left in this opening quarter. And here's a look at the scoring drive. 10 plays, 27 yards, and 5:12 elapsed on the clock. A 37-yard field goal. Chapman's kick, and they're going to bring it out. Well, he said Piggies stopped at the goal line, and now he's going to try to bring it out. Wow, that is horrible communications. Got to be stopped just across the 10-yard line. Well, be sure to be with us next Saturday evening at 7:30 Eastern Time. Rick Meyer and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish travel to the Iron City to take on the Pittsburgh Panthers and quarterback Alex Van Pelt. A great quarterback matchup next Saturday night right here on ESPN.
Ron, this game's in its infant stages, but LSU has to get something going on offense. We've had 2 series where they've just been really, they haven't challenged Tennessee.
Well, what you're saying in a nice way is 3 downs and out on both of them, Mike. Jamie Howard. You see that good quick arm. Wesley Jacob on the receiving end, and he will be close to the first down. It's Tracy Smith who knocks him out of bounds.
Even though you're backed up and you don't want a big mistake down here out of the freshman quarterback, you have to show him confidence and you have to take some chances and open the passing game up, which will then eventually open up your run game. Your run game's going to win the game for you, but your passing game has to open it up against this Tennessee defense.
Davis and Beckham, you can see 33 and number 5. Robert, a true freshman out of Birmingham. He gets the pitch. He will have the initial first down of the night for the LSU Tigers. J.J. Sirles, who is the only returning starter on the Tennessee defense, makes the stop.
Kevin Mawai, number 52. You're going to see him at the left tackle spot, left guard spot. Then watch Todd Kelly come off the block of Mawai and almost get him in the backfield. Just got a hand on him to cause him some problems. That was Mark King, number 62, blocking on Todd Kelly.
The initial first down for LSU. Straight ahead, Odell Beckham being hit again by Sirles. J.J. a senior from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. John Joseph is what J.J. stands for. As I said, the only gentleman who returns as a starter.
I recruited him in Pittsburgh. His father played at Tennessee, and Johnny Majors, good friend of his father's, and he always wanted to play at Tennessee.
Gentleman who also played there and was a two-time All-American, Johnny Majors, runner-up in the balloting for the Heisman Trophy his senior year. Quick pass, he's caught, and now here comes the flag. And Mike, it looks as though that yardage is going to be erased because from where it has been thrown, the flag that is, it normally is offensive holding.
He is complete.
Todd Kelly again putting a lot of pressure on Howard.
Todd Kelly on passing downs. Just talking to him the other day. I said, what do you think about in pass situations? And he said, I can't hear anything. Just tune everything out. And I see a red line between me and that quarterback, and I'm going after him.
Holding, offense, half the distance penalty, repeat the down.
If you can't control Todd Kelly with a one-on-one block, see number 58 just come off the mark and beat the block of the tackle and cause the hold. Marcus Price holding him, number 79. You have to put a tight end over there to help you with him. You just, if you can't handle him one-on-one, you need help. Put the tight end over there and leave him in the block.
And then Tennessee has won that battle because you're having to take a man that you would have utilized elsewhere.
As
right?
a pass receiver.
Big hole for Beckham, and he will come out to the 15-yard line. Mike, I want to show you something about this field that I don't know if people notice it when they come into the stadium. Most people put their yard lines 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 10-yard increments. At LSU, here at Baton Rouge, they have always done 5-yard increments as well. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20. Seems like a natural sequence, but other stadiums don't do that anymore.
I wonder if they have a paint factory here or something. They just got an abundance of paint or what?
I don't know. Hit in the backfield and knocked down at the 15-yard line, and on the third down and very long, boy, the crowd didn't like that very much at all.
Well, they're such a young offensive team. They can't overcome the holding penalty. They can't afford mistakes, penalties, turnovers. They have to get in sync and try to put some pressure on the Tennessee defense.
Todd Kelly, another very good sequence for him as DeSales comes on to punt. Sean Summers, you can see his longest 77 yards this year. Not going to be able to return this one. Good hanging spiral, and he'll make the fair catch at the 48. 36 yards on the punt. ESPN's coverage of play action by Schuler. Faulkner tackled at the 45-yard line. John Morgan, one of the first men to get there. He's a senior from Rayne, Louisiana.
You have two young quarterbacks, but you have Heath Schuler's at an advantage right at this time because of field position. You can take more chances with him, throw on first down. But on the other side of the ball, LSU hasn't been able to get the ball outside the 20 field position when they start, so they have to stop these the Tennessee offense, get better field position.
Just over a minute left to play in its opening quarter. Tennessee leading by a score of 3-0 as Big Mario Brunson, a junior out of Portsmouth, Virginia, gets the carry. He is 6'1", 245.
Mario Brunson carried.
came to school as a linebacker. And they moved him to fullback. You can see for good reason. He was a guard in high school, Mike.
Well, that's where you usually put your fullback. So you find them in guard positions, little small guards in high school, and bring them in there and beef them up a little bit because they know how to block, and that's what a true eye fullback do. Every now and then you give them the football.
Stewart tackled by Anthony Williams, and he's going to be at around the 36-yard line.
One of the matchups you watch tonight is the center, Brian Spivey, against Bo Davis, number 96, the nose guard. Bo Davis played at 300-plus pounds last year.
Boy, he's down to 273. That is tough, particularly on a big guy who's accustomed to sitting at the table and really enjoying it for a long time. Straight ahead with the carry, close to the first down as Morgan will take the feet out from under Brunson. And let's see, from where the linesman has spotted it, they're going to be about a half-yard shy, so it'll be third down, Tennessee. And we'll talk about it in just a moment, as that is the end of the opening quarter. Tennessee 3, LSU nothing. We'll be back in a moment. A couple of offensive linemen for the Tigers talk it over on the sideline. They are down 3-0 as we have just played what looks as though, Mike, about a 30-minute opening quarter with all the running plays. Tennessee on third down, and they hurdle, and that is James Stewart over the top, and he will have the Volunteer first down. Hilliard took his feet out from under him on the way down.
Good penetration by LSU, but James Stewart starts back behind the line of scrimmage about 2 yards, airborne, picks up the first down. You'd like to practice that on a track where you get the old mats with pole vault and just let them keep hurdling over. That's how you practice that. But when you get in the game, you always tell them they're going to land on somebody, and they say, yeah, right.
53 yards, Tennessee opening quarter. 19 rushing, 3 of 5 passing for 34 yards for Schuler. Counterplay, Stewart. Going to be stopped, maybe a gain of 1 on the play. LSU 11 yards rushing, 1 for 1 passing for 9 for a total of 20 first quarter yards.
Your attention, please.
Talk about Heath Schuler. Larry Lacewell, the former defensive coordinator now with the Dallas Cowboys, told me the other day at the Mississippi State game that the good Lord puts people on this earth to win football games every now and then, and that's what he says about Heath Schuler. He said just a winner, just a competitor and a winner.
Quarterback draw. That was a design play, and they might want to redesign it. It's going to be third down and long. Clayton Mouton, the senior out of Beaumont, Texas, was the first one to come up and put a pad on it.
Heath Schuler gives you the extra dimension to Tennessee of running and passing. His favorite receivers are Corey Fleming, number 12, and Craig Faulkner, number 4. They like the in routes.
6 defensive backs, LSU on this third down. And to pick up the first down, Tennessee needs to move to the 18-yard line. Schuler rolls the punt. He's got a man open at the 5. Touchdown, Tennessee. That's Kendrick Jones.
Schuler's pass is complete. Number 27, Kendrick Jones for the touchdown.
26 yards on the pass play, and that's where Schuler shows you the added dimension, being able to roll the pocket and have the mobility plus the good strong arm.
And he's so quick, Ron. He was outside of the defense before they reacted, has his feet up under him, and still was able to throw a strike and then with good velocity on the football.
Next for it, knocks it home. And as we go to break, let's take one more look at the touchdown play. You see Schuler on the run, and it's thrown perfectly. Kendrick Jones, a sophomore from Collierville, just outside of Memphis, puts the balls up 10-0. ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Welcome back to Baton Rouge, and the home folks better get something going quickly here as Tennessee Tennessee is bolted out to a 10-0 lead and looking very strong. This is Butler. 21-yard line, and that'll be it. Adrian Karsten, let's get a report from you.
Well, Ron, that last Tennessee touchdown was a direct result from heads-up coaching and quarterbacking by Tennessee. They thought on their first scoring drive they should have and could have had a touchdown, primarily because the LSU corners were playing soft. That is to say, they were giving the Tennessee receivers an extra 2 to 3 yards cushion. So Coach Fulmer told his quarterback, hey, those 8 to 10 yarders will get us right down the field. Result, 7 points.
Buckles on the near sideline, who had to suffer through that one, seeing his ball club going down 10-0. Howard, pressure on him from behind, and he'll just throw it away. Here's how the scoring drive went for the Tennessee Volunteers. 9 plays, 52 yards, just over 3.5 minutes, 7 runs and only 2 passes. And Kendrick Jones with the touchdown reception from 26 yards. You know, against Florida, Pete Shurla was 3 of 9. They simply didn't have to throw the ball much, and then the deluge came. And they put to good use all those good fullbacks and tailbacks.
Well, they wanted to throw a little bit more tonight, and they have started the game in that manner.
Just out of the backfield, and he's going to be close to the first down. That's Session, who's a senior out of Natchez, Mississippi, there to make the stop.
Odell Beckham was a tailback last year, and coaches told me he had above average speed. They moved him to fullback. Now they have a very quick fullback and a player that can block and catch the ball out of the backfield.
You know, watching him on the practice field on Thursday, he really has become quite a leader for that man there. And Curley said that Beckham made the move gladly and has really helped him out, becoming an improved blocker as well. There's an offsides, and maybe the cadence by Howard did it.
Good ball foul. Defense made contact. 5-yard penalty. First down.
See Shane Bonham, number 92, go off the field. He was brought in just specifically in a short yardage situation. They have 5 defensive linemen for the first time in the game. A little over anxious on his first play, jumped all sides.
You see, Frank Godfrey went ahead and snapped the football. With the contact being made, he actually didn't even have to do that. So LSU with a new set of downs, and they set a screen. This is David Butler, and he's got running room. Runs into his own blocker and will step out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Now you've got your freshman quarterback settled down. Good play call by George Hafner, the offensive coordinator. He's giving him some real safe passes right now. The little option pass, and then he came right back to the screen. You see Jamie Howard just set up, throw the screen. David Butler now gets set up. And one of the problems of the screen, sometimes your offensive linemen get lost. And you mentioned it, Ron. He ran into one of his linemen, just didn't set the play.
And Landry turned around and said, I'm trying to help you. Don't run into me.
Well, this running play by Butler will be snuffed out at the line of scrimmage as Tullis is there, one of the first men, and also James Wilson.
We talked about Darren Landry, number 76. He's the one that couldn't find anybody to block. He's 6'2", 270, not used to running out in the open field looking for somebody to block.
5 defensive backs coming in the ball game, and Reggie Ingram, who is the oversized middle linebacker, is normally the one who goes to the sideline, as Bennett will come in, number 26. And just overthrown for Harold Bishop, junior tight end out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And it was J.J. McCluskey who came up and put the wood on him.
Ron, Jamie Howard is very fortunate that Todd Kelly slipped on the backside. Todd Kelly was drawing a bead on him and fell down, or he would have sacked him before he got the ball off and may have been held a little bit. Todd Kelly, number 58, coming off the block of Kevin Mawai, and you see him go down. He has Kevin Mawai beat.
Now Jay Johnson comes in at tailback, number 23. Still another freshman. He's from Waco. See the pressure up the middle by Tennessee. Hot route is there. Bishop couldn't get to the football. That was a good job defensively, and it was David Bennett, the nickelback, who just cut off the lane.
Well, good call by Larry Marmie, defensive coordinator. He's going to really work on Jamie Howard. You see Larry Marmie get in the press box. He's going to give him a lot of different looks. He knows last year he was in high school, and he's only playing in this ball game. It's a young season, so he wants to make sure he sees a lot of different coverage and blitzes.
It was Jesse Daigle, number 2, who also was a quarterback. He's a junior, talking to Jamie Howard. Summer's going to let this one go and hope that it will take a Tennessee bounce, and it does, into the end zone. So let's take a break. 11-17 until halftime. Tennessee, 10-0. 10-0. And Mike, you think that Johnny Majors is back to his old antics on the sideline? Take a look at this just from a moment ago.
I see Johnny very active. If his cardiologist is watching, now he just fell off his chair back in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's going to get on the phone here in time to settle down a little bit.
Well, what he was doing, he was counting, and John counted 12 players on the field, and he did not want an illegal participation penalty and get to lose 15 yards.
Garner in the handoff. Little counter play, has 5, has 10, counted off at 15. That's Vincent Fuller, who finally knocks him out of bounds. And that is the best run from scrimmage tonight for the ball.
Well, you mentioned it earlier that Charlie Garner is their home run hitter, number 30. They play a lot of young backs, and Charlie Garner is just now developing into the back that they felt like he could be. See the little cut, uses the straight arm, now breaks in the open, tries to give a little move to the defensive back. Vincent Fuller picks up nice yardage.
Gain of 15 on the play, and the Volunteers out to the 35. Backside pressure, and Schuler never saw him. Gilliard, the freshman from Shreveport, will knock him down hard.
Well, I'm sure Schuler's going to go back to the huddle and say, hey, now listen, somebody's supposed to block James Gilliard, number 7, because I have to do the fake. Watch James Gilliard now. He just steps inside. He checks out the fake. Still has time to go and make the tackle on Schuler. Somebody missed a block on James Gilliard.
I was going to say, because the tight end took off downfield, who's misread or miscalled?
Usually a guard or the center has to come out the backside to pick up the backside backer.
Well, that one was ill-designed, as you could see movement ahead of time. And all of a sudden, following a 15-yard run, Tennessee loses 7 on the sack, and now they're going to lose 5 more on the procedure.
It's funny, the other day, Ron, we were talking to John Majors, and he said, you know, I was on the
Dead
field.
ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
He said he was on the field, and he had 1 more minute left in the 20-hour week, kind of poking fun at that. But he said he told his team, he said, look, what a beautiful day it is. Aren't we all fortunate to be alive? And he said he waited a couple of seconds. He said, especially me. Great sense of humor and a great person.
Yeah, I guess he has had to have a great sense of humor for what he has been through. This is Charlie Garner. Not much running room at the line of scrimmage. You see 48, Anthony Williams. He's a senior from Monroe. Stepping up big. 10-0. Tennessee leads it as we go under 10 minutes to play until halftime.
LSU's now trying to get some movement with their defensive line. You see them all with square shoulders to the line of scrimmage, all moving down the line of scrimmage. Anthony Williams, number 48, makes the play. Mike Bugar, the defensive coordinator, played at Florida State. He's out of Youngstown, Ohio. Really animated on the sideline. Players love him.
He's animated at practice, too. He's fun to watch. He gets totally involved. Schuler to throw on 3rd and very long. Gets the screen off. They throw it back into the boundary, and they will have about 12, maybe 14 of those yards back. It's Mose Phillips, and he's tackled by Anthony Williams. So it's a good stop for the LSU defense, but for Tennessee, at least they moved it up, so they stand to put the Tigers back with not so good field position again. Hutton kicking into a little bit of a breeze this time. Doesn't matter. He airmails this one. Buckles from the 20. Breaks it open. Fumbles the football. It is loose at the 45, and who's got it?
LSU.
LSU football.
Mike, that's a 27-yard return. As Hutton.
Now they're changing it to Tennessee.
Well, Hutton is the man it looks as though made the recovery.
Now they have a conference. There's one official saying he's down. One of the officials is saying he was down. Now they're giving the ball to Tennessee.
We will check officially whether it was McCleskey who made the recovery or whether it was Hutton who just punted the football. Let's take another look. This is a good return until the very end.
Watch the ball, though, that get punched out just about the time he's going down. Let's see if we see who recovers the football.
There's McCleskey.
There's the ball.
Now let's look for Hutton. I see it looks for the world as though that LSU has just recovered that football. It is still loose, and there's the punter. That's Hutton.
It looked like Gabe Northern had it, number 88, but you know, when you get in the bottom of the pile, there's a lot of pulling for the football. It looks like Tennessee pulled it away.
Okay, now we are being told that officially
Premier Bank, major corporate sponsor of LSU Athletics, offers Premier Partners and exclusive.
I believe Gallion. Let's look and see if it's not 93 Scott Gallion rather than 43. Hard to tell in the melee.
Premier Bank, everyday excellence.
Well, that hurts because they would have had great field position. You see him pulling under the pile. There's the ball. Looks like LSU has it. Then it pops out. Tennessee does have the football. Now, Ron, here's a point where you like when you get a turnover like that, you get the LSU team a little bit down. Now go for the home run with Heath Schuler.
Now, Curley walks away in frustration. He had just, boy, it was a great punt by Hutton. And all of a sudden he gets a 26, 27-yard return. He's got good field position. 8:44 until halftime, and he loses the football. Aaron Hayden, his first carry of the night at number 24, the sophomore out of Detroit. Tough is what they put by his name, and you could tell by that run right there he is.
Good, tough run. Tennessee's had great field position. They've been able to do anything they want in their offense because of their field position.
Tennessee, as we're about to go into 8 minutes until halftime. This is Hayden again. It's James Gilliard, the freshman from Shreveport. Mike also talk about the little bit of frustration here and the fact that the defense of LSU had to go right back on the field after a good stop.
Well, it's frustrating because you pump up and the momentum turns to you a little bit. Then you have a special teams play where you drop the football and you're back on the field. But you always work on sudden change in practice. So they're used to this.
Schuler has a man wide open, and oh, he just overthrows him, and that's Dutton, number 8.
Heath Schuler was checking off to the quick game. He wanted the little 5-yard hitch pass. See the cushion out there? He sees the hitch, but he didn't see the corner. All of a sudden, Fuller breaks up. Now he tries to throw the ball for the touchdown to Cliff Dutton. Heath Schuler knows he made a little mistake there.
Heath, by the way, is now 5 of 8, 70 yards, 1 touchdown pass. Good look at Philip Fulmer across the way as he paces, sending in the play. Backside pressure again. Gets this one away. Got a man open. Tip and incomplete. Faulkner couldn't hold on. That was Buckles who was playing defense.
Carlton Buckles was beat. Heath Schuler just didn't get enough air under the football, but Carlton Buckles played it and was able to knock it away and deflect the football. Reverse angle. Heath Schuler has a one-on-one situation out here. First of all, he runs into his back, and that's probably the reason he didn't get a lot on the football. Watch Carlton Buckles just get his hands up, deflected from Craig Faulkner, number 4. Boy, if LSU ever needed a stop, they need one now.
Third down, and the line to make is just inside the 23. See the flag come down over the middle, tipped and knocked away. Good defense by Buckles. And let's check the marker.
I don't know if he didn't bump him, though. I know you said good defense because he deflected it, but I'm not sure he didn't bump him along with deflecting it. Are they working on Carlton Buckles or what? He had three long throws to defend there.
You see David Walkup, who is the defensive captain, a senior out of the Woodlands.
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
6 men on the line of scrimmage is the call. Walkup, a senior out of the Woodlands, Texas.
Sometimes when you put a lot of wide receivers in the ball game, you only get 5 or 6 people on the line of scrimmage. You see the 5 linemen, wide receiver over here. And that's what the penalty is called for. Tennessee with a lot of confidence in their offense. Now Shooter backs up to punt the football. A pooch punt.
And that's what he's going to do. And this young man shows right here he can do a little bit of everything. Pooch kick and at the 1-yard line, and that's where the balls will touch it dead. Corey Fleming touches it down. So let's take a break. 7:19 until halftime. So far, it's been all Tennessee. See our score with 7:19 remaining in the second quarter. Field position, Mike, has been horrible for the LSU Tigers. They're only 11-yard line. Right now, they scrimmage for the 1. Tennessee at their own 40. That's Robert Toomer, and he's going to take it out to the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. Adrian Karsten.
Well, Ron, that last long Tennessee drive actually may have been a blessing in disguise for young Jamie Howard. Put the headsets on, was on conference call with his coaches upstairs, and they told him, Jamie, don't let Kelly and company get to you. Take the time to look beyond your primary receiver. That's what he's got to do to make a few more connections.
That's easy for them to say, don't let Kelly to get to you. They need to block him.
He would get a body on him, I'm sure, was the freshman's retort. Player is shaken up for Tennessee at the 3-yard line. See in a graphic a moment ago, the Colorado Idol. They will not be on Thursday night because we will be with them in Columbia, Missouri. That's George Kidd, a freshman from Milan, Tennessee, who is shaken up. And he's a youngster that moved over from running back to linebacker because they had a surplus of running backs and they needed some linebackers.
Tennessee does a nice job of finding position for their players. I think LSU has to play action pass in one of the next 2 downs. They can't. I don't think they can run the football out of there against Tennessee.
Tennessee with 5 down linemen to put pressure on in the 2nd down situation. This is Toomer again. Reggie Ingram steps up from the middle linebacking spot. He's going to be close to the 1st down.
Ingram made the tackle.
Robert Toomer is a freshman out of Sylvester, Georgia. And truth be known, they line him up at fullback. And Curly Holland says, you know, what I really would like to do, said he's really a tailback. He is big for a tailback, but I'd love to run him 30 or 35 times a game because that's the kind of life he had in high school. He carried over, look at this, 7,868 yards in high school. Well, you see, he broke Herschel Walker's record. Yeah. That's pretty good company.
But if he's going to play him at tailback, he's going to have another 11-game schedule on another team because he's already got 4 freshmen playing back there. Where do you put him? What's Johnny doing with the official over there? Johnny's working the sidelines right now. Trying to get the next call, whatever it is. He wants it.
You can see with the graphic, the Tigers 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. They need this one badly. This is Toomer again. Good collision at the line of scrimmage with Ingram, but he'll have it. To go under 6 minutes until halftime. This has been a rapid first half. We have been playing barely an hour. A lot of running, not a lot of passing. See him pull the guard, and he still is in trouble and will be sacked inside the 5. And guess who? Mr. Kelly.
Tried to come out with a naked play on with the ball on the 14-yard line. Tried to fake the toss. Here's Todd Kelly from the front side now, putting the pressure on. No one blocks him. Comes in, able to sack the quarterback. James Wilson, 72. They just meet it to quarterback. Favorite player of Todd Kelly? Who do you think in the pros? Outside rush backer that...
Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, how'd you get it? How'd you get it? Lawrence Taylor. His favorite team's the Washington Redskins. They'll probably be playing for him for a long.
End zone. Howard rolls the pocket, now running for his life, drills in, complete at the 23-yard line to Wesley Jacobs.
The athletic ability of Jamie Howard came into play on the pass to Wesley Jacobs. Sprint out to the right, is able to get outside now, eyes his target up, throws the football. Good pass, and he's a baseball pitcher that's already signed with the Atlanta Braves. But I've always believed quarterbacks and baseball pitchers have a lot in common because you're always working for control, you're always throwing to targets, and it doesn't surprise me that when you're a baseball pitcher and quarterback that it all works together.
And of course, Granger, Texas A&M, has made a good job of doing the transition. This young man has already signed his professional contract, so he can play professional baseball in the summertime and still be eligible for college football, which he is doing right now.
I bet
a bonus of about $450,000.
So I think he'd probably be the guy that you'd want to chum around with if you're on the football team, right?
Yes, and I stopped by the baseball park on Thursday to visit with the skipper, and he said, you know, yeah, I'd like to have him out there because he throws about 93, 94 miles an hour. But since he has put his name in the dotted line, that just won't be able to happen for him anyway.
Well, if that offensive line will protect him and they win this ball game, he's allowed to take a little of that $450,000, take him out and buy him a pizza tonight.
Butler and Toomer, the setbacks, and 3rd and short. Butler will have the first down. It's been Talley who forces him out of bounds.
Well, I don't know. They got a bad spot, I think, Ron. I don't know if they're going to get the first down or not.
Good heavens, he did hit a bad spot.
Well, the chains that matter on the other side, though. That marker right there doesn't mean anything. It's the chains on the other side that they've got to bring all the way across the field. He could have it. Don't go by that mark. And Johnny's looking over there. He's checking it out. And it's going to be close.
Well, they're bringing the chains from across the way. We now have officially, and let's get this squared away because I know families like to know, Tom Hutton, the punter, did recover that fumble. Gallion is the man who forced the fumble. 93 forced it, 43 recovered it, and as you can see, LSU is not going to have this first down. You judge the spot yourself.
David Butler on the toss sweep. We'll see where he goes out of bounds. I think a pretty good call.
And let's go to Adrian Karsten.
Bayou Bengals got robbed, Ron. They actually moved that ball back, happened right in front of me about 6 or 7 inches. Should have been a first down.
Well, from where his foot came down, it just doggone close. You're right, Adrian. Sean Summers back in a deep safety as the Sells will punt, and this time he has the wind to his back.
Tennessee's excellent in the special teams, and so far in this ball game, they have gained the edge.
This is a good look right here from behind the Sells, and you'll be able to see the coverage by the LSU Tigers. And also whether Tennessee has a return on, which they do. No pressure, and you see him lining up the coverage to the open side of the field. And he can't get there because a good job by the Tigers of covering on the punt team. Well, tomorrow, be sure and join us for live NASCAR racing at North. Ron Franklin with Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. 4:22 left until halftime. And Jerry Colquitt has come in at quarterback for Tennessee. Aaron Hayden on the carry.
The coaches told us that they would play 2 quarterbacks. Jerry Colquitt, number 14's into the ball game. I think they have to be pleased with the way Schuler played. Now give Jerry Colquitt a little bit of playing experience.
You can see his numbers, 10 of 19 throwing. Sets, drills the pass, has it complete at the 35 to Corey Fleming. Still on his feet down to the LSU LSU 30-yard line. Hilliard on the stop. Good for 20.
Jerry Colquitt gets a little bit on his football, too, that he's throwing here.
First down, Tennessee.
Watch the delivery as he steps to the pocket, steps to the target. Corey Fleming on an in route, little curl, and Tennessee's knocking on the door again.
Political science major. Hayden is the lone setback. He swings in the flat, not sure they throw to, and he drops it. And Corby, I'm sure, is whispering to him, you didn't want to catch that anyway.
Two good-looking quarterbacks, Ron. He's Schuler, who is 6'3", 208-pound sophomore, and then you come in with a 6'4", 190 sophomore Jerry Colquitt. And that's how you develop quarterbacks. You have to get them in the football game. And there's times in the game where you insert them. I think this is a great move by Phil Fulmer. I think you take and bring your quarterback in. He gets live playing experience, and you never know when you're going to need him.
You know, Washington does it, and they have great success with it.
Trying to bait him into a mistake.
Hayden on the draw. Will have 5 yards, and they'll mark him down under that Anthony Williams tackle just inside the 25.
To talk about two quarterbacks, as you see Phil Fulmer calling the plays for Tennessee, wouldn't be surprised if we see Ryan Huffman for LSU in the next series.
Philip, besides being very pleased with what has happened with this football team during a very stressful situation, this offensive line, and we'll talk more about that, he's excited about what it can turn into as well. They're going to set a reverse to Faulkner. Looks for a block, will have the first down, still on his feet, and tackled at the 12. McCorby on the stop.
You can't play an entire half on defense and field position like Tennessee has and expect much different, because now that's what I talked about earlier. Tennessee gets the opportunity to do anything in their arsenal because of field position. Here they do the old Statue of Liberty to Craig Faulkner, and you know, they're just pulling out all stops because they have no pressure on them.
2:25 until halftime. Short drop, whistles the pass, incomplete to Fleming. You know, we also should make the point on the golf courses, talk about poor course management. It has been poor field management on special teams by LSU tonight, because they've had 2 return kickoffs that never should have been brought out, Mike. They have been stopped deep in their own territory, 3 and out. Tennessee got good field position, so they have aided the enemy a couple of times.
Well, young teams, they make young mistakes sometimes, and they're not in sync tonight. They just haven't played the football game on both sides of the ball. This defense has not played badly.
Third time that Tennessee has been inside the 20 in this opening half. Gonna run it at the 5, and he scores. Jerry Colquitt from 12 yards. No, they're going to say the 1-yard line. I beg your pardon. Well, the official in the end zone raised his hands.
Full spread out. Aaron Hayden, number 24, really with a solid block. Jerry Colquitt, he's got a run-pass play on as he comes rolling out. And the number 24, the tailback, you have to block every now and then. Aaron Hayden with a key block to spring Jerry Colquitt. Well, this is just going to do great things for Tennessee's confidence in their quarterbacks to be able to bring a second quarterback in. He takes a drive, takes him right down the field.
Pete Schuler on the sideline. He started the game tonight. Both of these youngsters are sophomores, Colquitt and Schuler.
I'm a firm believer. You know, you always talk about a quarterback controversy. I'm a firm believer in the way Johnny Majors is doing it, the way Don James does it at Washington. All it does is help your performance level of your first-team quarterback, because he knows there's somebody behind me that can play. So he practices hard, spring practice, fall practice. He really has to be attentive to everything. Can't afford to slip because there's somebody just right behind him.
See if they give it to Stewart. They do. He hurdles, and he's not going to have it. Ricardo Washington's down at the bottom of that stack.
Well, the way he goes airborne, I'd give it right back to him. James Stewart, 33, starts up, over, good tackle by Ricardo Washington. I'd come right back, same play. Here he comes right into the front room. Almost fumbled the football. Bad handoff.
Second and goal as you look at James Stewart. They go with the fullback, and Brunson does not have it. It'll be third down.
You want penetration on defense. Now you look at either a quarterback sneak. It's so close to the line of scrimmage. You either look at a quarterback sneak or go back to James Stewart again, where he can go over with somebody leading in front of him. Need a lead blocker if it's not a quarterback sneak, Stewart.
Stewart, and this time he scores. And Spivey down at the bottom of the stack, the junior and the freshman, the center and guard leading the way in the blocking for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Into the game for Tennessee, number 10, John Bexford.
Bexford knocks it home, and one more look at the touchdown.
James Stewart, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, airborne for the touchdown.
Final score, University of Washington, 17.
And Mike, on the play, as we look at the replay, 2 flags went down, and on the extra point, a personal foul called against the LSU Tigers, which means that Tennessee will be kicking off from midfield with 58 seconds until halftime.
The way Tennessee's playing, I would onside kick. And you're ahead 17-0. You're kicking from the 50-yard line. Why not onside kick? They've not been able to move against your defense and take a shot at getting another. You got 58 seconds. Tennessee still has 2 timeouts. I think very seriously about an onside kick. If not a straight onside kick, then pooch it and try to recover it.
Coming up at halftime, the Delta Faucet Report, Seminole Deja Vu, Georgia Tech, and a Hail Mary in Walsh versus Holtz. A little bit of a reversal of fortunes in that one. All coming up at halftime of the Delta Faucet Report.
Tigers are penalized 50 yards.
Who said those commentators can't coach? I think it's easy to coach up here.
Oh.
Bill Walsh was able to go down and do a great job today on the field against Notre Dame.
And it didn't look like that was going to happen in the first half, did it?
And he beat a good football team and a good coach.
And Bobby Bowden, again, is asking why. Safety, one of the strangest plays I have ever seen in a football game. As far as non-thinking, they just kick it away. I want you, that was Adrian who made a very good stop at the football in the end zone, and a conversation with the quarterback before Jamie heads back onto the field.
I think with 58 seconds to go, I wouldn't take many chances here if I was LSU. You just had a flat first half on offense. Offense has been inept. And I don't know if I'd take a shot here to let Tennessee get back on the board. I might go back in the locker room and try to redevise some things and come out in the second half and open it up a little bit more.
Go long, and incomplete as he well overthrown at the 45-yard line. That's Beck, and the pass was intended for. 52 seconds until halftime.
Tennessee defense has had a great first half.
Going to be sacked. As Jamie Howard looked up, folks coming from every direction wearing orange, and Shane Bonham. Also, James Wilson was putting on some good pressure.
LSU's calling timeout. I'd let this clock run and get out of here.
So we'll take a break. 42 seconds until the halftime. Volunteers 17-0. Curly Hallman looks on as his ball club now has been sacked 3 times in this first half for a loss of 21 yards. And the timeout a little surprising to some. Howard sets a screen, has to throw it high because Beckham is the man that he wanted. But Todd Kelly was coming pell-mell on the play and just had to throw it away.
Well, I'll tell you what's surprising, Ron, is because now then you throw a pass. Now the clock stopped with 37 seconds. Tennessee still has 2 timeouts. They'll go after the kick here, try to block it. They're going to have great field position. 2 timeouts. You allow them the opportunity to score. But I know what Curly Hallman's thinking. I got to stay aggressive with this young team. But I wouldn't give Tennessee the ball with 37 seconds to go and try to run the clock out.
They're coming after DeSales and off the side of his foot. Tennessee won't get a return, but they're going to get the football at around midfield as that one goes dead at the 49-yard line. Well, you're exactly right, Mike. 36 yards in the kick, and they have 26 seconds left and 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, you give them a chance, first of all, to block the punt. They get close, but LSU was able to get it off. But now you give them about 3 or 4 plays, 5 plays maybe, if Tennessee uses the clock well here.
The Delta Faucet report coming up at halftime. Florida State and Miami. They'll talk a little bit more about that one. Georgia Tech with an unbelievable come from behind, and Stanford and Notre Dame. Those among other stories at halftime. Colquitt back in at quarterback for the Volunteers. Fleming is the man that he wanted out of deep out. Just let that pass get away with him a little bit.
Sprinted Jerry Colquitt out just to keep him away from any inside pressure that may come from Bo Davis or Clayton Mouton.
Mike, this is as quiet as I've ever heard a Baton Rouge crowd. Well, Tennessee has taken this crowd out of the ballgame, and the other side of the coin is Tennessee only one time really in this first half has done anything to make these people stand up and make the kind of noise that they normally make, that they're known for.
No, I agree. It's the crowd's out of this game.
Deep over the middle, incomplete. It was Ronald Davis, sophomore out of Bartlett.
Colquitt's pass is incomplete, intended for Ronald Davis.
Adjustments at halftime are going to be very important for LSU to settle their ball club down. They made a lot of mistakes, a lot of fundamental mistakes in kicking game, and offensively they just have not been able to solve the Tennessee defense.
3rd down for Tennessee.
Draw play here as Charlie Gardner goes right up the middle on 3rd down, and they'll just let the clock run out on that one. 7 seconds showing right now.
Charlie Gardner, Terry.
LSU's taking a timeout. Now, if I'm Tennessee here, I might just air one out. 7 seconds left. That's what Johnny's probably talking about over there, saying was, can 7 seconds go by if we just take the ball back and throw the deep pass, or do we have to punt? That's exactly what they're talking about.
24, Arkansas State, 12. Final score, Southwest Texas State, 38, Pickle State, 13.
Johnny Majors in his 16th year at Tennessee, and Philip Fulmer in the left side of your screen, in case you have not kept up with that situation, was the interim head coach. And Fulmer, as the interim head coach of the staff, guiding Tennessee to a 3-0 record coming out of the blocks. And a couple of wins there that might have shocked some people as they had gone to 4-0. One, a win on the road at Georgia, which it's a tough place to play over there. And then to win handily over Florida. 2 of the victories that they have of the 4.
Well, he's done a nice job as the interim head coach, and you know, he's an unselfish guy, and was able to get this football team to play. And what Curly Hallman was telling us the other day is they're playing with great confidence.
Tennessee sends Hutton on the field, and he's going to throw a pass. Up the sideline that's McCleskey, and he is all the way down to the 16-yard line of LSU. But that will be the final play of the first half. J.J. McCleskey does a little bit of everything, both sides of the football. It is halftime. Coming up is the Delta Faucet Report. But now let's take this break. Tennessee 17-0.
Tennessee 17, LSU nothing.
We welcome you to the Delta Faucet Halftime Report, along with the coach Lee Corso, the player, the pony, the patriot, Craig James, our favorite. I'm Tim Brando. Good to have you with us. Well, we have some games that are underway.
Teams are on the field and ready to start the second half of play. Tennessee 17-0 as we open this third quarter. And Suarez will kick it off for the LSU Tigers. Summers is the deep man for Tennessee. Summers, 1 yard deep, he'll return it.
When you look at the statistics, you have to look at rushing yardage. LSU 17 attempts, 6 yards. You're not going to win many football games running the football that poorly. So now I look for both teams. Johnny Majors in the locker room. I'm sure he told his team, let's don't go to sleep. We're ahead 17-0. It's been easy. Let's stay in the ball game. And Curly Hallman on the other side has to challenge his LSU guys for a surge. They need a surge right out of the third quarter to try to get themselves emotionally back in this game.
Schuler is back in the quarterback for the Volunteers.
Stewart on the carry. And let's go to Adrian Karsten.
Well, Ron, I am told that if the Bayou Bengals come back to win this game in the second half, at least the Total Sports Network can lay claim to some of their accomplishment. I'm told that at least a portion of their motivational halftime speech included our coverage of Thursday night's upset, Mississippi State versus Florida. They said, look, anybody can beat anybody. You all saw the game on ESPN Thursday night. So with that fact to fire them up, they're back on this field having to score at least 18 points.
And also improved some numbers drastically. 61 yards total offense. That won't do it. This is Hayden. Breaks a tackle up the middle with a great second effort, and he's out to the 40-yard line. Hilliard makes the stop, and there's a marker down.
Hilliard knocked him down. There's a flag on the play.
To follow up on what Adrian was talking about, Johnny Majors told us, he says, you all have ruined Saturday night for coaches all over America because we've got to be back watching the game on Saturday night on ESPN. Nice compliment from Johnny.
Yeah, it was.
So I used to like to go out to dinner, but he said, I can't now. I don't want to miss the game. I don't want to miss seeing what's going on across the country.
We talked about the 61 total yards for Tennessee, or for LSU in that first half. They only had 20 total yards at the end of the first quarter, so only 41 in the second. Aaron Hayden straight ahead, close to 5 yards in the play. See Jeff Smith, the big freshman guard out of Decatur, getting up 6'3", 300. I mentioned the fact that Philip Fulmer is excited about this offensive line. Bubba Miller at left guard, they think is going to be very, very good. He's 6'1", 290, also a freshman. You know, Fuller in his years at Tennessee has sent 12 people into the National Football League. Quite a legacy there for offensive linemen, as well as wide receivers and linebackers.
Well, you're right. He's done a great job with the offensive linemen.
Swings it out to Hayden.
Now here's what you need, Ron. If you're Curly Hallman, you challenge your guys. You see Mike Bugard, the defensive coordinator, they accepted the challenge, but now the onus goes on the offense. They got to open it up on offense. They have to get something going. Now, Johnny Majors has to be a little worried on the sideline because you don't want to go flat. I've been on these sidelines before where your team just goes flat. It comes too easy for you. 17-0 lead was too easy.
Buckles is deep. This is Hutton's punt. Run at the 34, and he's got some running room. Closes up quickly as Tennessee is there to stop him at the 43-yard line. Ben Talley on the special teams, and again it'll be Jamie Howard who is operating the team at offense.
Ron, they've got to get good mix in their play call. And they've got to throw on first down. They have to challenge him with the play action pass. They have to try to control Todd Kelly. I'd say most of the time the protection has to be slid his way to make sure he does not become a factor in the pass rush.
You know, 17 rushes for 6 yards also. They've got to be able to run this football, Mike. Pass is complete over the middle to Wesley Jacob. And into Tennessee territory. Jason Parker defensively.
You have to throw the football. You got to open it up, and they come right out and throw a pass with Jamie Howard. They roll him to the right, away from pressure, throws off balance, gets a good reception to Wesley Jacob. And again, the crowd now starts to react. You start to, and young players will feed off of a crowd, so you want to keep them in it. Keep throwing the football.
That was a gain of 13. Davis straight up the middle, and he goes for 5 and 6 yards.
Robert Davis carried.
It's Jeff Tullis, the senior out of Cape Girardeau, coming up to make the tackle for Tennessee. 17-0 if you have just joined us. Just over 12 minutes to play in this third quarter.
I think this is the ball game right here, Ron, and I hate to say this early in the quarter. You may think I'm crazy, but LSU's got to get in this end zone. They have to get something going on offense, and now they've got a great opportunity.
Odell, but no, fakes it to him, pitches to Davis, tightropes down the sideline, and I believe, unless they say he stepped out of bounds, which they're going to, he will be short of the first down.
Well, Curly Hallman, as he looks out in the field, knows he has 2 downs to make this first down. Now punch it ahead and get your first down, and then come right back on Tennessee and keep putting pressure on the Tennessee defense.
David Bennett, the senior out of Germantown, of course, is just outside of Memphis. In that defensive secondary for the Volunteers. And here it is, third down and less than a yard. Tennessee with 5 defensive linemen, and Toomer carries for the first down. And you know, that goes back to the point that Curly Hallman made that I talked about in the first half. He's a fullback, but yet he is a tailback type as well. He would like to run him from that standing position. He's very strong.
A strong back, and you see the little thrust he gave at the end of the play to pick up the first down.
Jamie Howard, the freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana. Gives it to Odell Beckham. He hit hard at the line of scrimmage, but he spins off of James Wilson. And they will give him close to the 30-yard line. There's another big thing that LSU has had a mighty problem with, and that is playing with a second down and long all evening long, rather than a second and short.
Oh, you're right, Ron. And they're in 4-down territory right now. Everything's 4 down here. I wouldn't even think about a field goal with a score 17-0. I'm thinking I have 4 downs to pick up 10 yards, and I want to mix some throws in there to try to get the big play.
They got more yards rushing on this drive than they had in the entire first half. Under pressure, pass is caught by Beckham. He pays for it, but he holds on, and he may have the first down.
And look at the sideline. Johnny Majors on the sideline now, talking to one of his defensive coaches, trying again to get something started with his defense. Sees the momentum switching. Just a little drop back pass to Odell Beckham out of the backfield. Remember, he was a tailback. He caught a lot of passes. He's a receiver type fullback, and he was able to make the catch and get close to the first down. I mean, I figure I'm going to pick this thing up. Maybe this is the time you take the shot with a pass, but we're talking 4-down territory here. Everything has to hang out for LSU right now.
Bishop and Stelly at tight end for LSU. 17-0. Volunteers on top. Third down and an inch. Toomer puts the head down, and he's going to have the first down. It's Reggie Ingram at the bottom of the stack. But listen, now the crowd all of a sudden getting back into the ballgame. They like what they're seeing.
Well, they know this is their shot. If they don't get into this game right now, they're never going to get a chance to get into it, so they have to now. Just to reverse out, Reggie Ingram, the big linebacker, the 235-pound linebacker, meets Robert Toomey, but you talked about his strength, that leg strength, just was able to pick up the first down.
You can see how high those knees were. This time, Howard, get rid of it. Yep, he does. That was James Wilson, who was just matching him step for step. James is 6'3", 253.
I don't like that throw, and I'm not never second guessing. I just don't like to throw when they have so much pressure coming from outsides with Ty Kelly and James Wilson. You have to control those guys, and drop back passing game might be the way to go here. But you have to control those outside people in Tennessee's defense. They're up the field. Jamie Howard really never had a chance on that play.
Good look at Todd Kelly, number 58. Howard, 6 of 11, 74 yards now throwing. Short drop this time, whistled in the flat. That's Torrey James, the freshman out of Marrero, Louisiana. They just moved him over from defensive back. As Curley said, that he said the best catches we were getting in practice were his interceptions, and so they took him from defense and put him over on offense. Number 37.
Interesting comment. You know, when you take a defensive back in practice and you watch him out there every day, and all of a sudden he's your best receiver and he's intercepting passes, so you move him.
10th play of the drive. Mike, it is 3rd down. LSU needs the 13-yard line of Tennessee. Over the middle, almost intercepted by Reggie Ingram. He wanted his tight end, Harold Bishop. Well, if he puts a little air under that football, he might have even scored a touchdown.
Jamie Howard with a drop back pass. Reggie Ingram, number 41, reads the eyes of the quarterback. Pretty good coverage. Jason Parker, number 7, was on him also. This is a good decision by Curley. You got to get points now. Too many yards. 4th and 8.
39-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, not plenty of accuracy, and that is off to the right and no good. So we'll take a break. 9:09 left in the 3rd. Tennessee continues to dominate. ESPN's presentation of college football is being brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Just over 9 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Tennessee gets the football here in the 2nd half. And LSU drive 10 plays, 45 yards, and they come away with nothing. Schuler's pass incomplete. Trying to force that one a little bit, and that's the first time tonight that we've seen that happen with him.
That call by Philip Fulmer is a wake-up call to his offense. He wants to become more aggressive. He can feel the air going out of the balloon here, too. I mean, you just standing here in the crowd listening. I mean, it's a flat football game, and you don't want to go flat because you got the 17-point lead. Put the pressure on LSU.
The 40, high stepping it almost to midfield, and Rovello Swan pushes him out of bounds. 27 yards.
Tennessee does a nice job of cutting back plays. You see the offensive linemen here are going to work inside, and what happens then? You over pursue the play. One missed tackle by James Gilliard, number 7. Charlie Gardner cuts back against all the grain. There's no one backside. He's able to pick up big time yardage.
5'10", 185, and Garner a junior. This is the big fullback, Mario Brunson. Bo Davis, the nose guard, senior out of Mendenhall, Mississippi, just not too far up the road. Makes the defensive stop for the Tigers. Mike, how much wind does it take out of the sails of this entire LSU football team by having that drive look as though it was going to do something and then just fall flat on its face?
It's like taking a pin to a balloon. I mean, it just all comes out. You have to, as a coach, you have to find a way to get the air back in.
Schuler with the play action, has it complete. That's Corey Fleming inside the 35-yard line. They'll mark him out at the 33.
I like the play calling by Tennessee. Tennessee's the aggressor again. Now they're back to what they did in the first half with Heath Schuler. Run the football, play action pass, different routes, try to get the ball to Fleming, 12, and Faulkner, number 4.
That play good for 18. Garner again. Boy, Stein to the 27. That's Ray Adams, a senior out of Jasper, Texas, who makes the tackle. We have not called Adams' name very much tonight.
No, you're right, Ron. And the play is designed to go to the right, but Charlie Garner, number 30, just has his eyes wide open, and he sees the cutback lane, and if he can avoid the one tackle, he's into the secondary because everybody's pursuing to the other side.
Garner and Kenneth Campbell, the setbacks again. Campbell, first time we've seen him tonight, and the fullback out of Chattanooga puts a head down. Anthony Williams will stop him at the 23.
Even though we're in the third quarter and you talk about the three tailback system, what the three tailback system gives you, fresh legs always. And somebody who's at the tailback position that always wants to, he knows he's only going to get a certain amount of carries in a game. He's going to try to make the best of it. So you really have an active tailback in there all the time that's fresh.
Get timeout for a measurement. 7:31 left in the third quarter. Tennessee 17-0. It's been a very rapid ball game. Mike, we have only been on about 2 hours now.
Boy, that tells the whole story right there.
132-21. Tell you who else is working tonight. Talk about all the tailbacks that have been used. Tennessee has used 9 wide receivers in this ball game. 9.
Check off the throw here.
You could see movement along the line. Somebody on the left side. I couldn't tell if it was the tight end or the left tackle who moved, but the flag came down.
Dead ball foul. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Penalties on Robert Todd, number 97, but I believe what Schuler was trying to do was check off because he had 9 people up on the up near the line of scrimmage, and he had a one-on-one on the outside with the wide receiver.
Little counter play. Garner yards against the Volunteers. Garner now rushing 7 carries for 57 yards. Stewart started the evening. We've seen Hayden, then Garner, and they continue to interchange them. Puts it on his hip for a long time. Has a man tipped in the end zone. Carlton Buckles with a very nice defensive play. Faulkner's the guy he wanted, and he had him there for a moment.
Schuler may not have completed this pass, but he sent a message to all the teams that are going to play Tennessee that I can fake the football. Look at him put the ball on his hip. See with the left hand, he kept the left hand extended with a good fake, set up, threw a strike to Craig Faulkner, but Carlton Buckles, number 8, gets in there with his hand and deflects the football. Nice throw, nice fake, nice route, nice defense, everybody.
9th play of the drive. And Schuler doesn't like it, he'll call timeout. So we'll take the break with him. 6:27 is what we have remaining in the third. Tennessee on top. So that's where Mike and I will be on Thursday evening in Columbia, Missouri for the meeting of, well, I guess it's the 5th down rematch. Colorado and Missouri. 3rd down, and they need the 13-yard line of LSU. Looking for the end zone, and he just threw this one away. Coverage was good by LSU. Clayton Mouton was coming with some pressure.
Pretty good coverage against Schuler. There really wasn't any place for him to go with the football. Went to the no backs, and it was covered very well by LSU.
John Becksforth will attempt a field goal of 46 yards.
John Becksforth. The spot is at the 36-yard line.
Got plenty of distance on this one, and he's good. John Becksforth puts the Tennessee Volunteers on top by a count of 20-0. What a Toyota Leadership Award winners this week are for Tennessee, J.J. McCluskey. He's a senior safety who carries a 2.5 in sports management. In his spare time, he advises the youngsters in Knoxville on the importance of education. And for LSU, it's Mike Blanchard, just a sophomore. Mike,
half of these athletes, and we say congratulations.
They came back. I don't like what's happening out there.
Bill Fulmer's telling his team about the fact of coming back.
you can hear him say, I don't like what's happening out there.
Well, they went flat.
Short. Things happen.
Chapman's kickoff. And let's go to Adrian Karsten.
Well, Ron, you talk about Coach Major's heart attack, but that is not the only adversity the Volunteers team has experienced this year. The shamrock on the back of the Volunteers helmets is in the memory of the Irish pride of Tim Caron, who died this summer of an aneurysm. He's the team's head trainer. He was with Johnny Majors for over 20 years, started his career up at Pittsburgh. 44 years old, he leaves behind 6 children. Just a nice touch by Tennessee.
He was a very, very nice man. We all knew him. Pass will be complete at the 34. That's Beck. Brett Beck, number 87, who makes the reception.
Is complete to Brett Beck.
Sprint out to Todd Kelly's side to try to control him a little bit with 2 backs blocking on Todd Kelly.
20-0. Tennessee on top. 5:40 to play, third quarter. Jay Johnson, the freshman from Waco, gets a chop, and he won't go very far in the grasp of Ben Talley.
This defense is coming of age every week. Larry Marmy, the defensive coordinator, wasn't there in the spring, Ron. He was at Ohio State and then joined Tennessee in the fall when Larry Lacewell left for the Dallas Cowboys. And it's tough because he said the toughest thing he's had to do is build trust with his players. Here he just walked in the fall. Nobody knew who he was. He didn't know the players, only by number.
That was David Cutcliffe sitting next to him there, who calls the offensive plays from up in the booth down to Phil Former on the sideline. Signal, wrong pass route, something here. We had a go up the sideline, and that pass was nowhere close to it on the third down. Howard is 8 of 15 for 81 yards, and that's almost a story of the LSU offense tonight. Miscommunication.
I think you have to look to Ryan Huffman now, the second-team quarterback, not to Jamie Howard. It's been playing that poorly. You just have to look for somebody to ignite you, so you may need to try your second-team quarterback.
Line drive kick. Summers will run away from it, and this takes an LSU bounce and out of bounds at the 28. So it's a 38-yard kick, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back. LSU in your face. 20-0 with just under 5 minutes to play in this third quarter. Stewart and Brunson, the setbacks, and it'll be Stewart. We'll see if Phil Former's little lecture to the offensive line has any effect. To talk about depth, Tennessee, we've talked about the youth of LSU. Tennessee is very young in spots as well. But for instance, Mike, 8 different rushers they have used in the football game tonight, and 6 different receivers have caught the football. They have used 8 different receivers as well.
Well, this was a team nobody thought would be in the thick of the SEC race, but they're developing depth as they're developing confidence.
It's Mose Phillips, the lone setback behind Heath Schuler. He'll get the handoff. Crosses the 37, maybe to the 38. Very close to the first down. Robert DeChâtel, a sophomore out of Lake Charles, makes the tackle.
Johnny Majors in complete control. His team is just totally in control of this football game.
Quick out pass, incomplete. That was Corey Fleming. At the last minute, you saw Fleming come off the line of scrimmage. I guess all of a sudden the play called for he was covering the tight end on that side.
What happened was that they had a defense designed to stop the run, so they automatic to the quick game, but Corey Fleming, Jerry McGee's read the play and almost picked off the interception.
Well, it's Buckholz who goes back in a single safety. The left footer hangs this one. Fair catch is called for, and Buckholz does not get underneath it. Well, for Tennessee, as far as the SEC schedule for Johnny Majors and his football team, there was the first big shot that was fired, 34-31 over Georgia, then a 31-14 rout over Florida, and here's what they had left: Arkansas, Alabama. Those games at home and on the road at South Carolina, back home against Kentucky, and then at Vanderbilt.
Good schedule. This was a major test because it was on the road.
Jermaine Williams, the ball carry for LSU. First time we've seen him carry the ball tonight, and George Kidd will stop him, but it's a gain of 5.
Wouldn't you think, as you look at their schedule, that barring any unforeseen injuries or barring any unforeseen anything happening bad to them, that they will be in the first SEC championship game? It looks like that. And you know, is it possible that if they play Alabama on third Saturday in October, that they could have a rematch in that SEC title game?
Yeah, it is very possible. Jermaine Williams hit by J.J. Surlis. Well, you can hear some, not just groans, they're getting kind of vocal here at the old ballpark.
Well, it's tough, and when you're the head coach and when things are not just going the way you want and you're not executing and you're not playing, you're looking always for answers in a game for the rest of the season too, because LSU still has remaining games left that they want to just keep showing improvement in.
Third down conversions, the Tigers are 3 of 11. Plus about 15. Jason Parker finally makes the stop for Tennessee.
Jamie Howard's pass is complete.
LSU is able to get Wesley Jacob in a one-on-one situation with David Bennett. And now he just breaks away from him in man coverage and picks up some nice yardage. And those boos are quieted, and now they're back on the bandwagon again.
What have you done for me lately? Under 2 minutes to play third quarter. Counteraction here. Jermaine Williams hit by Talley and will be shoved back.
When we were in his office, Curly Hallman, the other day, and the worst feeling, I'm telling you, the worst feeling is to go in after Colorado State game on a Sunday when you get in real early in the morning and you lost. It's a sickening feeling. And there was a little note on his wall, and it was from his daughter. It says, "Hey, Daddy, thought I might say I love you very much, Jessica." And she's 11 years old, and that just keeps you going and going and going. Because you know you're going to improve. You know your team's going to get better if you just stick with fundamentals.
Overthrown. You know, we might, if we could, take one more look at that graphic that came up a moment ago, which sums up, we said at halftime, LSU in rushing yardage, 17 carries for 6 yards, and you can see on the night how far below their season total that they are. Here it is. 174 a ball game is what they've been averaging, and right now only 28 yards.
Credit Larry Marmon and his defensive coaches and a plan. And I tell you, Larry's family, they rented the Elks in Barnesville, Ohio, and I put a big TV screen, so they're watching the Volunteers tonight.
Beckham and Davis, the setbacks. A pass almost intercepted, and it's going to be, taken away by Tracy Smith. He did get it. What an effort by Smith.
I think he deflected it and kind of fell into his lap. Little quick pass out to the left. Tracy Smith, number 3, comes inside. Just kind of stole the ball.
He did. It's like it stayed on his shoe top, but he just scooped it off of there.
Stolen away from Odell Beckham.
Colquitt back in at quarterback. And that pass will be complete to Corey Fleming at the 45. Smith gets the pickoff.
You feel badly for the freshman quarterback. You know, he just trying the best he can out there and just can't get the whole thing in sync.
Play action. He's going to go up on top. Intercepted by Carlton Buckles. Nope, did not hold on.
See, they're wearing Carlton Buckles out tonight on that left corner position. They've been trying to go deep all evening on that side. Corey Fleming, number 12. Reverse angle. Carlton Buckles, number 8's up for the challenge. Almost picks it off. Becomes a center fielder right at this point. Just drops the football.
Third down for the Volunteers. Phillips gets treated rudely at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be fourth down, and the Bolts will have to kick it back. That's Swan defensively who stepped up into the hole. So now Buckles, who had to look over his shoulder a moment ago on that attempted interception, now gets to face the ball as he is the deep single safety. They may just let this clock run down, and they do. That is the end of the third quarter. Tennessee 20, LSU nothing. We'll be back for the final 15 after this.
That's the end of the series.
20-0, Tennessee on top as we start this fourth quarter. Tom Hutton, the left-footed punter for Tennessee, will kick it away to Buckles. Very, very high. And the Volunteers will down it at the 1-yard line again.
Well-coached football team. Every phase they've dominated tonight.
It's a football festival next Saturday on ESPN. First, it's College Game Day at 11:30 Eastern Time for all the features and previews, and right here on ESPN. Toomer takes it out to the 3, maybe the 4-yard line. This is the third time tonight that LSU has started inside their own 10-yard line.
And it's a 10-yard line. It's on the side of the field where all the Tennessee fans in the orange are, and they're making, as LSU comes line of scrimmage, a lot of noise to try to cause the young quarterback, Jamie Howard, some problems.
Play action to Toomer. Pass is caught at the 30-yard line by Beckham. Odell Beckham, the senior from Marshall, Texas, brings it down.
Odell Beckham, number 33. See both receivers in the same area. Then Odell.
Howard almost intercepted on that play. Now the crowd wants pass interference, but the minute the ball is tipped, Jacob was the intended receiver. Of course, they may have thought that he had been bumped prior to the ball getting in. Once it's tipped, obviously pass interference is over.
Jamie Howard on a sprint to his left side, ball tipped, and then you're right, Ron, the contacts made on Wesley Jacob by J.J. McCluskey.
J.J. had a tight grip around his waist. Howard is 10 of 20, 124 yards and the 1 interception. That'll be whistled down. Doomed from the start. Movement before the snap.
The center stepped back and stepped on the foot of Jamie Howard, number 4. He wasn't able to get out from underneath the center.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Second down.
You're wondering about the backup for Jamie Howard. It's another freshman, Ryan Huffman. There's a center by the center. He tried to Frank Godfrey. He moved the ball and then tried to get it back. A little anxious.
That looked like one of our replays when we started. Stop it and back it up. He was going to take it back to position A. Wow. Well overthrown.
No, I think this is a good call right here. Now, let's watch this in some games today. They're going to call a personal foul on Jason Parker, number 7. Ball wasn't catchable. It was way over the head of the receiver, and there was contact. Now, I don't know if Jason Parker, let's look at it, number 7, see if he could stop here. See, the ball's way over. There's the hit right there. No, it's definitely a good call.
Yep. The man was vulnerable. Pass
over there just to take up for his player. I think that's important. His players know that he takes up for him on the call.
Pitchback comes to Artie Moore. Ball is on the ground and recovered by the Tigers. Artie Moore, still another freshman. He's out of Wiggins, Mississippi, 5'7", 171. That was Kevin Mawai who made the recovery.
Made the tackle.
Against this Tennessee defense, on offense, LSU's been like pulling teeth. It's been tough.
So Artie Moore comes to the sideline as he's right back out of the game, and Beckham is the only setback. Up on top, and again, a miscommunications. As Torrey James, also a freshman, was running the route, and the pass just not even close.
There's going to be a day when these freshmen turn into sophomores and juniors that you'll look back on these days and see the development of this football team. They're just too young. Too many freshmen playing. Bear Bryant used to say that, you know, when you had a freshman, there was a mistake for every freshman you played. The old coaches all felt that way. Look at how many freshmen they're playing here at LSU.
Jamie Howard under pressure again, running for his life, and just throws it away, and almost intercepted. Ben Talley went high in the air, and he almost threw it right to him. It was Horace Morris who was applying the pressure.
Now there's a name for you. Horace Morris with the pressure, number 85.
I think Horace Morris and Ravelro are this week's all-name team. Brian DeSales will punt it away for LSU back at the 25. His club down 20-0 here in the 4th period. Covers with the fair catch, 39-yard kick, and this Tennessee defense says a marker is down. As he's pitching a shutout right now with 12:43 left in the ball game. Holding against Tennessee.
In action, 7-inch black and white television.
Depends if after the ball is kicked. If it's before,
it's going to be a first down for the LSU Tigers. Yeah.
You've won in action, 7-inch black and white television. East, 18, row C, seat 33. East, 18, row C, seat 33. You have won a Craig video cassette player.
Wesley Jacob, the offensive captain, being given his options.
Congratulations from Silo. Silo, TV, video, audio, and appliances at the guaranteed lowest prices. Silo is proud to be a sponsor of LSU Athletics.
Holding on the defense. Post-scrimmage kick foul. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
So that told us what we wanted to know. Post-play foul. So as they sort this one out, Tennessee is going to scrimmage from very deep in their own territory from the 11-yard line.
Still discussing it, too. I'm not sure they have come to a final decision here, but now they're going to come over and explain to Curley what...
I misexplained it. Let me tell you, we had a post-scrimmage kick, so that means you ain't got any choice. You got to go to the end of the run. That's all. You're downfield on the hole. Listen to what I'm saying. Downfield on the hole, okay, and I tell you, post-scrimmage kick, we got to go. There ain't no other option. I misunderstood what he told me. I thought we had a line of scrimmage foul, which we didn't. The foul he explained to me has to go from the end of kick. No question. If it happens within the downfield. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, I got to put my flag down.
Adrian Carson, what do you have for us?
Well, Ron, for all the reputation of, you know, you win so darn many games in Death Valley and it's the toughest place to play at night and all that type of thing. I just walked by a couple of players here on the LSU side. They said, maybe we should go back to playing day games here.
And so LSU calls a timeout and we'll take it with them. 12:43 left in the ball game. Tennessee up big.
Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten.
Just under 13 minutes to play, and Tennessee 20-0. This is Charlie Garner. Spins off one tackle. Mike Hewitt, a junior out of Slidell, Louisiana, will finish him off on the tackle. This is the worst field position that Tennessee will have started with all evening long. They've been averaging at their own 39-yard line.
And we were talking about early how the field position really helps you cut loose the young quarterback, and Schuler was able to cut loose early in the game.
Garner again. You see him get by Hewitt to the outside. Turns the corner. Makes positive yardage and is close to the first down. However, they're going to spot it back closer to the 20. That's Mike Steptoe, senior out of San Antonio, defensively. And Tennessee has a player down. Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
When Marshall Faulk is taking a blow.
Mr. Brando, if you get a name of that step that he was doing after he scored, we'd love to have it.
In the first period, Houston, 28.
20-0, Tennessee on top.
You know, Ron, what keeps you going as a coach? Curley Hallman in a tough situation. This is his second year and rebuilding, and what you do sometimes as a coach, you look at other coaches. You look at Tom Landry in his first 5 years, a great coach, 11-1 his first year, won 4 games his second year, 5-8 his third year, 4-10 his fourth year. And of course, you know the great story about Tom Landry in college football. Bill McCartney's probably the best story. 82, he was 2-8-1. 83, 4-7, 84, 1-10, and then of course we know he turned it around, won a national championship. So Curley Hallman can draw from those stories and know that his day will come.
Freshman Jeff Smith from Decatur is the injured player. 6'3", 300 pounds, one of those freshman guards starting for Tennessee. And we'll try to get a report as he is helped off the field. It's not there in one direction. He just spins off just like a top and heads downfield.
Keeps his feet moving, keeps spinning, keeps picking up valuable yardage.
Rattler goes to left tackle, and Stoll, Mike Stoll, will go to right guard, replacing Jeff Smith. Charlie Garner again. He's going to have the first down at the 33. Coming up next Saturday, Illinois.
Sandwiched in between that, Mike and I will be in Pittsburgh for Notre Dame and Pitt.
Charlie Garner, he's getting quite a workout. Breaks it open, then gets smacked, and Tim Brando.
New Mexico.
Trying to rebound. This entire season has been a rebound for them. Get that big win over TCU earlier, which they were heavy underdogs in. David Walkup will step into the hole and tackle Charlie Garner as the clock about to go under 10 minutes left in the ball game. Tennessee 20-0. And
Mitch Huffman, the other freshman quarterback. Ryan, a freshman out of Houston Clear Lake, warming up on the sideline. So apparently we will see him on this next offensive series for the Tigers. Garner turns the corner, changes hands with the football, and is pushed out of bounds at the 45. Gary Pegues is the man who got a hand on him.
Charlie Garner has been impressive tonight. And the Tennessee coaches told us the other day he's the home run hitter as the running back. You can see his speed and his quickness and his acceleration. He has the ability to take it to distance every time he touches the football.
Falls Church, Virginia. Charlie 5'10", 185. Mose Phillips comes in the ball game as Garner gets a breather. Mose, a sophomore out of Nashville, 6 feet 220. He's the only running back behind Colquitt. And Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Bad news for the Volunteers. Injury to right guard Jeff Smith is a deep bruise, possible fracture of the small bone in his left ankle. Out for the rest of the game. X-rays are pending.
Well, that's not good news. We hope they get a good report on him. You can see it being iced down on the sideline immediately. I said Colquitt a minute ago. Obviously, I met Keith Schuler, operating this team at quarterback. As you look at Big Jeff, 6'3", 300 pounds, a first-year player from Decatur. Schuler looks at the blitz, gets the quick out pass to Faulkner. Almost breaks off the tackle, but where he does so is out of bounds, and they're going to step him out at the 40. It was Rodney Young out of Grambling, Louisiana, makes the tackle. So game's getting underway out west. Maryland with 40 points against Pitt. Minnesota. Jim Wacker gets his first win, and Ole Miss picks up an important victory. I believe that's the first one for Jim Wacker. Going to double check.
I'm going to check it for you.
Check the book there. Jimmy, of course, moving from TCU over there. Schuler on the keeper has the first down, plus 5 and 10 more, and where do they put him out of bounds? At the 26, Benson Fuller pushed him out.
Keith Schuler just continues to gain confidence in this football game as a sophomore quarterback. Seems set out. Now this is the dash play. This is a run all the way. Looked like a drop back pass, then they reversed him out, let him run the football. Design running play.
11th play of the drive coming right here, and look at Garner. Loses the football. LSU recovered. So enter a new quarterback as well as Bo Davis makes the recovery. And I believe we're going to see Ryan Huffman, the freshman from Houston Clear Lake, on offense for the first time tonight.
And LSU football, two winning teams. Folks support the 1992 Tigers. You can
see on the sideline, which is important, Mike Begard, the defensive coordinator, keeping his team up. Here's the fumble. And just trying to move the football. Looked like Charlie Garner tried to change hands with it. Bo Davis in there recovering the football.
As we said, Ryan Huffman comes on at quarterback. First time that we've seen him this evening. Going to run with it. Ryan is 6'2", 210. And Paul Yatkowski, who is a backup defensive tackle behind J.J. Surlis in the ball game, and he makes the stop. He's a junior out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Michigan got it going today. The Aggies got another scare.
Penn State with a big win. Alabama got their offense moving today.
Fakes it to Odell Beckham. Going to put it on his hip, and he'll carry it for the first down out to the 36.
This drive is solely for the next games because now you have to decide, Curly Hallman, who's your quarterback's going to be. Big win for Stanford today against Notre Dame.
Mike, the last time I looked at that score, Wisconsin, Barry Alvarez, congratulations to them. That's a huge win. But the last time I looked at that score, wasn't Notre Dame up 16-0?
I believe they were, and Stanford came back and
unanswered. Wins big. Clock under 8 minutes to play in this one. Straight ahead to Odell Beckham. Oklahoma with the win over Iowa State. Georgia Tech with the field goal at the
one thing you want to do with them, don't want to go down to the wire on a field goal. They've won a lot of games with those field goals.
Well, last week in that ball game, we talked about Clemson and Georgia Tech have really fine place kickers. And Georgia Tech got the win in the final minute of theirs today by way of field goal. Looked like they wanted to run the reverse to Artie Moore, and very wisely, Huffman did not pitch the ball back because his arms were in the grasp of a defensive player.
Todd Kelly's going to finish this football game. He's played hard the entire night. Number 58 reads this play the whole way, just beats the block of Kevin Mawai inside and makes the sack.
Kevin's an all-SEC player for 1991 as well, and he's got to be thinking right now, why don't they give this guy a break? They're up 20-0. I'd rather see another number right now. Horace Morris is the man who plays behind him. Bring on Horace. Overthrown. It was McCluskey who came close to making the interception. So 4th down, and LSU will have to punt it back. Brian DeSalles to punt again to Sean Summers. Wind is picked up. He is kicking into a considerable more breeze. See if Summers gets an opportunity to return it. No, kind of a line drive kick, and Summers runs away from it. So let's take a break. 6:25 left in the ball game. Tennessee 20-0. Tennessee with Heath Schuler. 6:25 left in this one, and they've got a shutout going. They have not shut out LSU since back in 1944. I believe 13-0 was that score. Tennessee on offense right now. Maybe the Tigers will get an opportunity to put something on the scoreboard tonight to avert that. Trying to do something, though, they have not done in 48 years.
Johnny's still coaching on the sideline. He's still into this ball game.
Schuler turns the corner. Wow. Takes a pretty good shot right there. Hilliard is the first man to come up along with DeChâtel.
Johnny had a good point about his absence when we were talking to him. He said, you know, his dad was a football coach. And he said, my dad, when he coached, he said, I never heard him say anything as my team or my guys. He said, I always preach team. And he said, that means we're all in this thing together. If I'm not here, the coaches will pick up the slack. Players will pick up the slack. And that was a great attitude by Johnny Means. He always has preached the team concept.
Third down, they give it to Hayden. Weaves his way for the first down and out over the 35-yard line. DeChâtel again, along with Buckles, making the tackle.
Got a tired defense, and now you bring in Aaron Hayden, number 24, tailback.
New
fresh legs.
Again, yeah. We mentioned in the first half, a sophomore out of Detroit, 6 feet 206. They'll give it to him again. This situation's almost like a scrimmage for Tennessee. Is some of the guys a little rowdy underneath the pile there? Is they're just getting to look at some guys under given situations to evaluate who's doing what?
That's exactly right. Now you just work on fundamentals. You give some playing experience to your down-the-line players, and your thoughts now as a coach go to next week's game. And Curly Hallman, the same thing. He knows what he has to do. He's just got to keep building, stay with a plan, and he'll eventually see it turn.
Well, Heath Schuler looks very good, and the young man you just got a shot of on the sideline, Jerry Colquitt, also fine-looking prospect. Hayden takes it straight ahead as David Walkup will put an end to his route. And also Torrey Workman, number 63. Well, we asked Johnny Majors what it's like watching his team on television.
It was different. I can say it's a lot different from the standpoint of the adrenaline and the butterflies and the anxiety level and the excitement of the game. It never slows up when you're on the sideline, facing the sideline. You're into it all the way. That's another game, but it was not quite the feeling. I want that team to win very badly, to do well, but you can be a little calmer at home.
Mike, the one thing I was interested in, that I asked him in the next question, I said, did you second guess Phillip and the offensive staff on some things they called? And it was almost like something was about to roll off his lips. He said, oh, no, I wouldn't question my staff. Wouldn't second guess him is what he said.
The other thing you can do when you're at home is go to the refrigerator.
You would think of that.
Which you'd like to do right now.
You would think of that, yeah. About to go under 3 minutes left in this one. Tennessee 20-0. Hayden on the carry, and Gilliard is there to make the stop on him. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us, sir?
Well, Ron, I've got Anthony Marshall, who was touted coming into this year. In the circumstances that in hand, you know, that you can't. But it's just, I'm just taking it as a learning, a lesson, and just trying to get over this hump. How do you contribute to your team now? And we know you're doing the best with it. Ron?
Okay, Adrian. You know, you admire the young man for his stick-to-itiveness, and I also admire Curly Holman in sticking by his guns because, I mean, LSU needs some more firepower. They could use him, but a coach has got to stick by his guns with discipline, doesn't he? Or he opens up as a bad example for everybody.
Well, you set your discipline, you set your rules, and then you have to follow it. And then your players understand when the next group of players come in that there's not two sets of rules.
127 and counting. Is Tennessee about to do something they haven't done in 48 years, and that is shut out the LSU Tigers. Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
I'm going to take you out to the wild.
Thank you, Timmy. We are under a minute in this one. 10th play of the drive for Tennessee. Mose Phillips. And he'll go inside the 30 in the grasp of Ricardo Washington. A lot learned by Jamie Howard, the freshman from Lafayette tonight, as he started this ball game at quarterback. A celebration beginning on the far sideline for the Volunteers, and they deserve it.
They go home for 2 games back-to-back, Arkansas and Alabama.
Phillips, and this probably, that's going to be the last play of the ball game, as Washington, one of the first men at the bottom of the stack, and they count it down. 4 seconds down to 3. Johnny Majors with his first win in 1992 as the sidelines head coach. Kevin Mawai of LSU with a handshake for him, and then Curly Holman. So let's take a break. Tennessee 20, LSU nothing. We'll be back in just a moment. Final score, Tennessee 20 and LSU nothing. Tonight's piece of players of the game are, for the University of Tennessee, Todd Kelly, 6 tackles, and he also had a sack in the ball game. And from LSU, James Gilliard, 8 tackles, and he also had a sack. As part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa is proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. Once again, the final score, Tennessee 20 and LSU nothing. Stay tuned for the college football scoreboard, which follows next. From Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, I'm Ron Franklin. Good night from Baton Rouge. Now let's go to Chris Fowler in the scoreboard studios.
All right, Ron, thank you very much. An important hurdle for Tennessee as they move towards a possible undefeated season and a spot in the Sugar Bowl. We're going to have a lot coming up on the scoreboard show. We'll show you how Marshall Falk has done tonight. Also, that important UCLA LSU 20-0. Johnny Majors' first game back on the sidelines, and Adrian Karsten is standing by with him now in Baton Rouge. Let's go to them.
All right,
right, thanks very much. Coach Majors, congratulations. After everything that you have experienced this year, how big is this win tonight?
Well, every win is big. I've never been around a bad one in my life. Been around some stinking losses, but everybody's happy when you win. All the fans are still hanging around here, and cheerleaders, the band's having a good time. Our team really played a very good football game, I think, all the way around. It was a tough, hard-earned one. Good defense, shutting them out. Good kicking game again, and our offense did what it took.
The key to tonight's victory, Coach?
I just think overall team effort, and that's what's gotten our team to where it is at this point. We have to continue to grow because we're pretty young still. We're getting good leadership. I think that's been a big factor from the few seniors we have, and we're improving.
How about your health tonight, Coach?
It feels great, and I feel wonderful. I've had some good doctors. I've had a lot of good care from the folks that helped me out. I've had a lot of support, a lot of letters, and I'm glad to be back on the sideline.
Well, Coach, come Monday morning, you could be #4 in the nation. Did you ever expect to be undefeated at this point?
Well, it was a pretty wild dream, but here we are. This is a crazy game. You never know. We just got to keep getting better because every week will be a challenge.
All right, Coach, thanks very much.
We can't get fat-headed. We got no reason to be fat-headed about. No, but I'm pleased with what they're doing right now.
Coach, you got more energy than we can handle here. Thanks very much.
I've got a lot of thanks to my doctors and the good care I've had. It's great to be alive. Hallelujah.
Is it great to see him back? He's like a 15-year-old, and he should be excited. He's got a good ball club, but Alabama coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. You know, if it was last year, this October 17th game between Tennessee and Alabama, the winner could go to the Sugar Bowl undefeated and play for the national championship. But because the SEC got a little greedy, December 5th, there's a championship game in Birmingham. Now, I'm saying this, it's going to be very, very difficult for either one of those two teams to beat the other team twice. So, the money, is it worth the national championship shot?
It is for some teams, maybe not for Tennessee at this point. I think they have a great chance if they beat Bama, though, to get to that championship game in the SEC undefeated. Their schedule is not tough. South Carolina, Memphis State, Kentucky, Vandy. This was a big hurdle tonight. That's why Johnny Majors was so pumped up. Auburn, another team that both Alabama and Tennessee have